What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Volts Comics and More. I'm Alex, and today I'm going to be going a little bit more over the Avengers Infinity War Entertainment Weekly magazine. I did a little bit of it yesterday. I'm going to dive into a little bit more detail on the other pages that I kind of skipped over. So let's get started. Just a little quick overview again of the completed set. If you were able to get all of the covers for Entertainment Weekly magazine, as well as a close-up of the Captain America one where you see a shield, his new shield created in Wakanda to substitute his old one. And once again, you know, I just think that showing that purple glow there on the side of it, showing kinetic energy, the same kind of kinetic energy that T'Challa has in his suit. And I just thought that was pretty interesting because, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I just overlooked it in the trailer, but I think this is the first time we've actually seen the shield do something other than just kind of like pop out of his wrist from like a gauntlet. So again, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on there, and let's get started with the rest of the book. Alright, so it also kind of dives in here, tracking the Infinity Stones, a guide to the 6 glowing MacGuffins that Thanos has been scurrying the universe for. So, the Space Stone, and the Tesseract, Mind Stone, and the Vision, Reality Stone is in the Ether, which is now residing on with the Collector, and Power Stone, which is currently in the with the Nova Corps on Xandar. Time Stone, which is currently in the Eye of Agamotto with Doctor Strange, and the Soul Stone, the only stone that has yet to surface, but watch this space, current location, based on Thanos' interests in Wakanda, we have a suspicion, which is what the people who wrote the article are saying, which that's why I've mentioned that before as well, due to different clues, such as, for one, the Lego set that you see here. This is an instruction booklet for it. This is taking place during the Battle of Wakanda. You see Wakanda there in the background. And this machine here, even though an Outrider is using it, kind of looks Wakandan to me. If you actually kind of like dive into how the set is built. There's the back of it. And then it goes on to building the actual weaponized piece of it, as you can see here. But getting on to the point that I was trying to make, this piece right here is representing the Soul Stone, which is being placed into the back of the weapon here. So, and again, this is just from the Lego set. There's another Lego set right here that I actually have out on display right now. The Sanctum Sanctorum plus Peter Parker's apartment. So basically, when you flip it around, you see the front of it, and in the corner here, that's where you can see the newsstands, where it goes into detail. Crime floods the streets, and you see there Daredevil is posted on the cover for the newspaper there. So it's just kind of like a little teaser to the rest, explaining like that it all coincides in the same universe. So not necessarily saying that that Daredevil is going to be in there. They have actually talked about that before. The directors have talked about that before, saying that They thought about adding in like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Defenders, and all of them, but it was just too many people to keep up with all at once. So they're going to basically allow Netflix and allow ABC to kind of continue on with their shows as they see fit, and they're just going to we're just going to have to wait and see how the Infinity War actually affects the larger Marvel universe. But again, the point I'm trying to make here is that the one Lego set featured the Infinity Stone seen here, and that's featured on Wakanda. So I believe that my theory on it being in the actual sand that that kind of gives the power of the heart-shaped herb, that the heart-shaped herb is growing in, which is why the heart-shaped herb has that ability, only because the sand is giving it that ability, because I think that the sand's going to be like collected the same way that the ether kind of shot out its red energy during the Dark World. So, like I said, I could be wrong, but this just kind of leans me in that right direction. And again, you got something like this that is kind of teasing Daredevil, but we know that Daredevil will not be in Infinity War, or well, as far as we know for right now. But yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. But let's get started with the rest of the book. Alright, so moving on with the rest of the book to where I believe I kind of left you guys off in the last episode. Under the Armor, just kind of showing some like behind the scenes and how they got their different suits working and everything. Here you see the Avengers. If Feige had his way, the Hulk would have been a very different aesthetic in Joss Whedon's first Avenger movie. Joss was choreographing the helicarrier fight between Thor and Hulk. Cool, because it's the precursor to the battle between Thor and the Hulk in Thor Ragnarok, Feige explains. I tried to convince Joss that the Hulk looked good enough like this. No CGI needed. So, just kind of, or no CG, I'm sorry. No CG needed. So just kind of, joking around. And there, of course, there's more to the Hulk than what you see there, but anyway, that's just kind of a little bit behind the scenes that they kind of bring you into. Same way with Captain America Civil War here. I believe I showed you guys this yesterday. They dive into more with Doctor Strange, Winter Soldier, again, Winter Soldier with the Falcon. You got Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and then the Black Panther scene. So basically, it's just showing you all the behind the scenes, different featurettes or that are on the different movies and the Blu-rays. I'm sorry, on the Blu-rays, the special features and stuff like that. So, but still pretty cool to read about. I definitely suggest checking it out. And kind of, it's just cool to see what all they put into to making all these comic book characters come to life. Here is explaining a series of marvelous events, basically everything that's happened, not in order of movie per se, but in order of actual events, such as like the MCU started with Iron Man back in 2008. Well, the timeline's actually starting back in 1940 with Captain America, the first Avenger, and his fight during World War II against, Nazi and then against Hydra. So just somewhat of a quick overview on this. It goes from 1940, Steve Rogers becomes Captain America. Bucky Barnes supposedly dies. Captain America is frozen in ice. S.H.I.E.L.D. is founded, and that's when you get into the Agent Carter series, and also the Marvel one-shot Agent Carter. And then 1980s goes to the original Wasp seemingly dies, which was shown during the Ant-Man movie, first Ant-Man movie, which in the second Ant-Man movie is when we're going to find out more about like what happened there. And then we go down to Peter Quill is abducted from Earth following the death of his mother. And then we go to 1990s. Tony Stark is orphaned, which was shown in Captain America Civil War. T'Chaka kills Prince Jabu, which was shown during the Black Panther. And this will be shown in the Captain Marvel movie, but Captain Marvel Rises, and we don't have much detail about that, but more will come. More will come as Avengers Infinity War comes on, because they've been teasing for Captain Marvel to be in it. Probably, if she is, it's probably just going to be like an end credit scene type thing, but we'll wait to see what happens with that. But the 2000s happens next. Hulk is born, which was shown in The Incredible Hulk. 2010s, Tony Stark becomes Iron Man. And then on down to Black Widow infiltrates Stark Industries, which is happening in Iron Man 2. And then Thor crashes to Earth, which obviously happens in the first Thor. Captain America Defrosted, which happens after, in the end credit scene for Captain America, the First Avenger. And then leading into that would be the Battle of New York from the First Avengers. And then Tony depowers while Pepper Potts powers up, happening in Iron Man 3. Then you got Thor battles the Dark Elves, and from Thor: The Dark World. Then they continue their galactic adventures with the Guardians of the Galaxy, defeating Ronan and introducing the Power Stone, which, as I said before, is currently residing on Xandar. And then you got right after Guardians 1 is pretty much when Guardians 2 picks up, where Peter meets his daddy, as it says here, which is Ego in the movie, but different in the comics. After the whole Guardians of the Galaxy 2 thing happens, you dive into Hail Hydra, or possibly even during Guardians of the Galaxy, because while Guardians of the Galaxy is going on, they don't really go to Earth, so you don't really know what's kind of going on Earth, while the Guardians are kind of dealing with their thing. They're dealing with their stuff at the same time as everyone else is dealing with their stuff on Earth. So it's kind of they're kind of keeping it separated for now until obviously when Infinity War breaks in. But this was during the second Captain America movie, The Winter Soldier, when S.H.I.E.L.D. fell, and Hydra reveals that they've been infiltrated, that they had infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. long ago. And then next after that, you get the birth of Ultron from Avengers Age of Ultron, the second Avengers movie. Scott Lang becomes Ant-Man from Ant-Man. And this means Civil War, so then that's when you dive into Civil War and the first appearance of the Black Panther. Then right after that, you got the Black Panther returns home, and that's when all that stuff with Killmonger starts rising up. But T'Challa returns home after the death of his father, T'Chaka, and becomes king of Wakanda. Then also, pretty much during the same time, you get the Spider-Man movie Homecoming, which happens right after Civil War also. And he's saying no to the Avengers, that he just wants to be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And then you got Stephen Strange defeats Dormammu. And that's when we had the introduction to the Time Stone, which is in the Eye of Agamotto. And then we go to the destruction of Asgard in Thor Ragnarok, thanks to Hela. And that pretty much completes the timeline that we have right now. So that's just a somewhat quick run through of the series of the Marvelous events. Kind of gives you a little bit more idea of the timeline as far as how it technically happens compared to how the MCU is actually showing it, because the movies, they kind of go back and forth with time, and so it's just really cool to see how it's all playing out step by step. Then we get into this super social network. Basically, what it's saying is the character's chart that answers the important questions such as who is Hawkeye's wife, and does Thor know Thanos? Like some relationships, it's complicated, and it's very complicated. As you can see, it's just kind of showing you who knows who and who's connected to what, and you can kind of just draw the lines yourself and figure out, oh, okay, so he does know of him, even if it hasn't been quite mentioned yet, but they do know of each other. They just haven't been associated with each other in the live action yet. But yeah, you can just kind of like draw the lines and see who's who, and who knows who, and who's associated with who, and kind of get a better idea of who might be kind of like teamed up a little bit more in come time for Infinity War. It's just also shows you, sorry about that, also shows you the different the different takes on the director and where the different designs have come from. Here we get kind of a closer look at Shuri's Panther gauntlets and the Casket of Ancient Winners as well. And down here we get a better look at Pym particle discs and the Winter Soldier's trigger notebook. And we all know Captain America's vibranium shield. Can't remember if I really went over this or not in the last from yesterday, but these are the standout comics that kind of go along with the different movies and everything, and definitely worth reading to kind of get you caught up so that you know, okay, so this is what is comic book accurate, this is what's not comic book accurate, this is what they changed, this is what they didn't change, this is, oh, that's an Easter egg for that, all that fun stuff. Basically different stuff that I've talked about once in a while, but definitely worth reading into and kind of getting a little more in-depth to them. But if you see any of them here that you want me to do an episode on, just let me know in the comments below. I currently do own the Planet Hulk storyline. Right now I'm actually kind of still in the middle of reading the Planet Hulk 2 storyline. that features Amadeus Cho's Hulk and his return to the return of Sakaar. Well, Bruce Banner was the Hulk that went to Sakaar originally, and they think that he's still like this is the same Hulk. So, but it's actually Amadeus Cho's Hulk. So, takes us back to Sakaar, but this is Amadeus' first time to being in Sakaar. And then his return is going to include World War Hulk 2. Again, Amadeus Cho's Hulk. Here you have the Women of Marvel. And here we have the Ultimate MCU playlist. The 10 favorite heroes, heroic tunes in Marvel movies, according to their thoughts. But let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on, like, if you had a playlist, or maybe you already do, and if you do, let me know, what's your favorite playlist for the MCU with all movies combined. This is what they have down here. Do you agree with it, or do you have a different view on it? You got Back in Black by AC/DC, Robot Rock by Daft Punk, Groove Holmes by Bestie Boys. Sorry, I'm reading it through my phone and it's not focusing. There we go. That's fun. So anyway, Trouble Man, Marvin Gaye, and you got Hooked on a Feeling by Blue Swede, Come and Get Your Love by Redbone, Interstellar Overdrive by Pink Floyd, Mr. Blue Sky, Electric Light Orchestra, Immigrant Song, Led Zeppelin, Blitzkrieg Bop, The Ramones. So let me know in the comments below if you guys think that this is like the absolutely perfect MCU list, or if you have a different MCU list that you like a lot better. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on the music for the different movies and all that fun stuff. I know I mentioned this before in the last comic, or in the last video, but it's definitely worth mentioning twice, because legends never die, and legends are always remembered, and thankfully we still have Stan Lee with us. Thankfully he's still out there doing cameos. You know, it'd be such an honor to meet him, and I think we can all agree that, you know, his work is just out of this world. I mean, he definitely shaped the Marvel Universe, and if it wasn't for him, none of this would be possible. So, I mean, obviously, he's had way more cameos than just these, but these are just a list of, like, their favorite cameos that he's had so far, and we're going to get many, many more cameos from him as well. But it goes on to talk about Forging Iron Man. In 2008, Iron Man debuted as the MCU's first film and its first hit. Here's what director Jon Favreau remembers about launching a blockbuster, as told to Clark Collis. So, basically, it's just an article kind of going over about different, or about what, well, pretty much what it said there. But anyway, I mean, I'll leave that up there for a second if you guys want to pause the video and kind of read through it, if you don't already have the magazine. But it's definitely worth a reading. It's all this stuff, all the behind the scenes. I mean, if you guys get into it, if you don't, and this video is really, really boring to you, I apologize about that. But you know, all these people, they put in like a lot of work, like Robert Downey Jr. Between like the actors and the directors, producers, all of them, everybody puts in so much work, and it's just so cool to see everything that they do, everything that they go through, just to entertain us and to make it all possible for us. So shout out to all of them for being so great and for just kind of giving us a great show. The book continues with a Q&A from with Kevin Feige, I'm sorry. Q&A with Josh Brolin. Also talks about how are the Netflix shows connected. Kind of gives you a breakdown of all that. Pretty much just talks about how it's all connected. Though it goes on to say those shows like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist lean into basically saying stuff like the incident, which is when they talk about the incident, they are referring to the attack on New York with the Chitauri attack. There it goes. With the Chitauri attack, with Loki, all that fun stuff from first Avenger movie. Yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. Anyway, it also references the big green guy, Hulk, old dude with the shield, Captain America. So it does say that the Defenders are a big part of the MCU, and it is all connected. They just are not going to be in the Infinity War per se, just because of, like I said earlier, too many characters to follow all at once. Also talks about all the Marvel one-shots that are in with the bonus features on select Blu-rays, such as the Consultant, Item 47, Agent Carter, and All Hail the King. Right. And then it ends on a note where saying Coulson lives discreetly, and then extra credits, and down to their 6 best post-credit scenes. Let me know in the comments below, and I know this video is running pretty long, and I apologize about that. Again, I apologize if it's kind of boring and everything, but I guess this is just kind of my way of giving everyone out there a shout out to making the MCU great and doing what they do. Let me know in the comments below what's your best or what's your most favorite post-credit scenes. What's your favorite music lineup, all that fun stuff. And that's where it ends. So I promise this is going to be the last video I do for the magazine. Again, it's just my way of shouting out to all the directors, actors, and producers and creators such as Stan Lee and everyone else who has put time and effort into this. All great job, and definitely a great magazine to check out if you guys can find it. Just a lot of good information in there. So anyway, I'm going to end the video off here. Sorry about the length again. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to my channel, and hit the bell to get notified when I put out a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.